I've played so well throughout the year, and I didn't want to just let it tail off sort of timidly. I wanted to come here and finish in style, and I was able to do it. Obviously, going out today, myself and Luke were tied for the lead, and we both didn't get off to the greatest of starts. And then Justin, had that incredible back nine, shot 62, and I knew, midway through the back nine, I needed to do something special, and somehow, summoned up the energy from somewhere to make 5 birdies in the last 5 holes. Just a great way to end, this tournament, a great way to end the season, and already excited about 2013.
Thanks for that. We'll take some questions, please. You raise your hand, we'll get the microphone to you. Kevin, down in front, please, Kate.
Rory, it's hard to believe that you started that round with a bogey, but it kind of, a victory of that nature resonates beyond the European tour. Already in America, they're tweeting like bonkers. So it does kind of send a message, doesn't it, about not only about this event, but the nature of the win and what it means for the world number one to come back and dominate when Justin had brought that out of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me to win in this fashion as well. I guess in a way, Justin gave me the opportunity to do what I did. I guess seeing a target there and shooting at something, it definitely makes you more focused. But yeah, I mean, this is it's a great tournament. It's, the European Tour is still, very strong. We've got some of the best players in the world that play on this tour, and I think it was a great way to end the 2012 European Tour season. So yeah, I mean, I'm obviously over the moon, and I'm sure a lot of the guys are. Just looking down the list of their seasons, like Brandon Grace winning 4 times, and it's a great story. Coming from Q School last year, Justin playing so well, getting himself into the top 5 in the world. Luke, having another great year. There's so many strong players on this tour, and there will continue to be strong players, and there'll be strong players coming through.
Ewan.
Rory, you touched on that a wee bit, but 2 parts. One, how much of that finish was motivated by what Justin had done? Do you think you would have done that in different circumstances? And 2, earlier in the week you spoke about the world number 1 status and how much that means to you. You've got no desire to let that go. Can you speak about how important it is to you to keep a hold of that?
Yeah, I think when I saw Justin, I had just made birdie on 11 to get to 19 under, and when I walked up to the 12th green, I saw Justin had went to 20, so he'd obviously eagled 14 and birdied 15. So I knew I was, I needed to find a few birdies on the way in, but I thought, with the 2 par 5s and the short par 4 15th, that I had some chances coming in. So I just tried to stay patient, and I guess, as I said, when you have a target like that, that's, I find that the best way to approach final rounds like this. My target was 22 going out today. I wanted to get to 22 under. I thought that would be enough. Thankfully, I got to 23 and give myself a bit of a cushion. But that's the way I sort of approach these final rounds when it's quite close like this. Give myself a target that I think, if I get to and it comes up short, then fair enough. The other guys just played better, but usually it works out in your favor. And I've spoken so long, I've forgotten your second question. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I wanted to. I guess I already had. I got back to world number 1 after the PGA at Kiowa, and I sort of cemented that spot with the 2 wins in the playoffs over in the States. But to finish off the season like this and gain another, I don't know what it is, 70 world ranking points or 65. It puts me in a really strong position going into next year. So, it's great to know that, going into the off season.
Jimmy.
Rory, 5 titles, your second major, the biggest lead in the world rankings since Tiger. Was this above and beyond your expectations of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I had a few goals starting off this year. Obviously, I wanted to win a major. I think I wanted to win 4. I think I set a number 4 times around the world. I won 5. The race to Dubai I won. and I guess getting to world #1, which I achieved earlier in the year. But I guess every goal that I set myself at the start of 2012, I've achieved this year. So it's it doesn't really get much better than that.
Mark?
So what targets do you set for 2013?
I guess the same. I got to I be focused on the majors, try and win more of those. I've won 1 in 11, 1 in 12. It would be nice to keep that run going next year. And just try and, as I've said the last few weeks, just try to keep improving as a player. I can feel like I can improve in different areas of the game still, and that's the challenge, and that's the fun of practice is trying to get better all the time.
Alex?
Roy, with all the great wins you've had this year, where does this one rank in the grand scheme of things?
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it too much yet. I guess the PGA is going to be my highlight of 2012. I guess the Ryder Cup as well is up there, and then this is probably close behind, I would say. But yeah, I probably need to think about it and reflect over the next couple of days. I haven't really had a chance to reflect on the season at all. It's just been non-stop all the way through. So it'll be nice to have a few weeks off and reflect and think back about all the the great moments of this year.
Rory, when you made the bogey on the 13th, can you just tell us what were your thoughts at that moment, and can you just run us through your play through from 13 to the 18? What did you hit and the distance?
Yeah, I guess I was one behind Justin playing 13, and 3 putting there. I was 2 behind with 5 holes to play, and I thought, he's 20 under, I'm 18. I've got 3 good birdie chances. So if I can, make my birdies there and maybe make one other, it might be good enough. But I wanted to at least. I thought if I could birdie those 3 holes, 14, 15, and 18. That it would be good enough for a playoff at least, because I knew he was 20 under playing the last, and I saw that he birdied that. So I heard that he birdied it on fit. So when I went to 20 under on the 15th, he just went to 21. So I knew I needed 2 of the last 3 to win, or one of the last 3 for a playoff. So I guess after the bogey on 13, I just focused and just tried to play as well as I could coming in. Had a good drive down 14. I only had a 7-iron, and actually I didn't hit a very good shot there. Pulled it left, but made a good up and down to make birdie. Hit a great drive up 15. Had 69 yards to the pin and hit it very close there. 16 hit another great drive. Had 150 yards in. Hit a pitching wedge, maybe 20 feet short of the green, and. Or 20 feet short of the pin. It was nice to hold that putt. That was a big putt to tie the lead at 21, and then to hit I think the most important shot, or the most pleasing shot for me on that stretch, was the iron shot into 17. I think that was a big shot. It was a tough pin position, and you could easily bail out right into the bunker and leave yourself a tricky up and down. But I committed to it and hit a great shot and followed it up with a great putt for a birdie to give myself that cushion going up the last.
What was the club?
5-iron. Yeah, 5-iron. Yeah.
And you played the 18th most unlikely way. You never laid up over there.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't need to do anything else but make a 5. I sort of had a similar situation at the Honda Classic this year. Tiger was chasing me down the stretch and had posted a number, and I only needed to make 6 down the last. But same thing. Hit a great drive and had a chance to go for the green with an iron, but decided to lay up with a wedge, then hit another wedge onto the green and take my 2 putts. So you don't have to be a hero when you need a par up the last.
Ben?
Rory, you've not only shown your talent this season, but you seem to have proven that even when not at your best, maybe in 2nd or 3rd gear, you can contend. What gear, aside from the last 5 holes or the back 9 today, do you feel you've been in Dubai? And do you agree with that statement that even when you're not quite at your best now, you still seem to be up there on leaderboards?
Yeah, I guess that's that's been the big difference this year. Is when I'm not playing my best, I'm still able to compete and able to, I guess, win tournaments. And that's something I said earlier in the year that I wanted to try and get better at. I felt my previous wins before this year, I've just played great golf, and no one could really get near me in any way. But being able to win, not with your best game, is what I guess what Tiger has done for so many years, and that's why he's won so many tournaments. And I feel like I'm definitely not at that level quite yet, but I'm learning how to do it.
Derek.
A few weeks ago, you had a ringside seat when your Ryder Cup playing partner finished with 5 birdies in a row. Did that cross your mind at all?
No, it didn't actually. It didn't at all. It's a little different when you need to make 5 birdies for yourself, and then when you need to make 5 birdies for a team. I think that's probably a little bit more pressure. But no, I didn't really think about that at all. But yeah, I guess it's it's a great way to finish a tournament and to finish a season as well. To finish 2012 with 5 birdies in a row is quite nice.
Dressed in red on the final day at Kira and dressed in red on the final day here. Is that going to be a theme, do you think?
It seems to work. I know it's worked for someone for a while, so. But no, I'm not sure. It was actually the only last clean T-shirt I had, so that's the honest truth. But yeah, no, as I said, it worked for the last couple of times, but I don't think there's anything to it.
Should they get the missus to do some washing for you?
She should, yeah. But I know.
Any more? Mark?
After this, Rory, it's going to be even harder to say no to people who want you to play in places. I mean, are you getting good at that?
Yeah, I've done my schedule. I'm sticking to it, and I'm not letting anyone persuade me to go anywhere else. I've learned my lesson over the last couple of years, and yeah, I'm gonna stick to what I plan to do. I guess I don't really want to make any comments on that so far.
Next question.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. I guess Singapore and Hong Kong are question marks whether they're going to be on or when they're going to be on the tour schedule. So I mean, they're probably ones that you can omit. Plus, maybe Memphis before the US Open. I added that this year just to try and get a little bit more golf because I was only playing 2-round tournaments. So, of course, yeah, I'm determined. I feel like I'm a good enough player to get around that course. I'm a good enough player, hopefully, to get around any course. But yeah, I at least want to see what the weekend's like there. So far, I've scheduled Abu Dhabi, Match Play Honda Doral, Houston. I think that's it.
Any more? No. Okay, Rory. Many congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Round of applause.